what are some of the key components of a web application that someone who is fresher or maybe who is also experienced should know before if he's preparing for an interview?
I really like this question. It's because again, when you are actually performing a web application pen test, what is more important is knowing about the basics and again, what all stuff is included. So answering your question again, the web application consists of front end, back end, and again there are databases and there is also API calls being implemented. So I would say it's really, you need to know the basics and the basics understandings of all of these topics, but it's really not that important that you go deep into everything, because again, API pen testing is a different field, and then there are people who have different roles again. But as a VAPT, if you are applying for a VAPT role, I would suggest that you at least have the knowledge of these things.
Okay. So another thing is that, as you mentioned, that there are different components of web application, and I'm sure that for these components there are many vulnerabilities as well.
Yes.
So what are some of the common vulnerabilities that a person should know?
Okay, so it's there's cross-site scripting again, which is related to the front-end part. Then there's SQL injections, which is very commonly new in the cybersecurity space, and this is more related to the database part of things. And again, there are response manipulations and stuff like that when it actually comes to API.
Yeah. So I think you have mentioned the vulnerabilities that are the classics.
Yeah.
So can you name some of the newer vulnerabilities that are coming, that you are seeing in your engagements?
Yeah. So a lot of times I really see vulnerabilities that are related to access control issues again, and I think even OWASP Top 10 has given it the first priority. Then there's response manipulation as well, where you are actually fiddling around with the response before it goes to the server. Again, that is because you are using Burp Suite, which is an advanced proxy tool again. So I might be giving some of the spoilers here, but again, Burp Suite is something that is really necessary to implement. And yeah, I think you can actually perform account takeovers and a lot of stuff like that. I think it will be more, we'll cover this more as we go ahead in this podcast.
I think we are also facing, seeing OAuth type of vulnerabilities that are newer kind of vulnerabilities, as well as JWT tokens.
Yes, JWT tokens as well. And I think we also had a podcast regarding JWT tokens. So, yeah.
So, Tarak, you mentioned about OWASP Top 10.
Yeah.
So, can you tell our audience what is OWASP and what is OWASP Top 10?
Sure. So, basically, OWASP is basically an organization that stands for Open Source Open Web Application Security Project. So what these guys did actually, so it's completely open source, and they have created a outline where it has a hierarchy of the vulnerabilities based on their severity. So what are the most common vulnerabilities that are really being found, and they have outlined it in a way. So I'm pretty sure the first one is broken access control, and trust me guys, even in our engagements we find a lot of access control issues. Then there's cryptographic failures, and there's a really great outline again coming with injections on the third place. So yeah, I think I really answered that question pretty well.
Yeah.
Yep.